Welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Franck Yvan. He is a self-made millionaire entrepreneur. He is also a life and business coach. He's founder of Black Black
Black Loon.
Dude. Black Dude. Welcome to the show, Franck.
Thank you so much for having me here.
You are welcome to the show. You are welcome to India in this online form, Franck. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to discuss about. We'll be talking about how you can become the best version of yourself. So first, to understand from you, Franck, who is Franck Yvan? How should people understand, though we have talked about you being a self-made millionaire, entrepreneur, business and life coach, but I want you to talk directly to the audience and help us understand, because your journey is your story. So that's why it's
Absolutely.
important that they understand from you who exactly is Franck.
So, Franck Yvan is a young entrepreneur that moved from Africa to the United States in 2017, where he actually faced a lot of struggles. I've been to the point where I was homeless to a certain time of my life. And I had no direction because every single plan that I had on my way here did not come true. So I was completely lost. And eventually I was able to start this journey of evolving and growing to the point where I made myself a multimillionaire. But some people call it like overnight success based on how fast it was. But the reality is it was the process of me bettering myself and elevating who I am, which eventually brought all these amazing success into my life. That's the story of Franck, who I am. Started one small business, evolved into my second company, then my third company. Now I'm venturing into life coaching because I want to be able to share my experience and help other people be the best version of themselves. Because I think that's what I was born to do. I think that's what I'm here on earth for.
Right, Frank. So help us understand, what motivated you first to become an entrepreneur?
So
Secondly, what motivated you to fight this fight? Because people might, when you become homeless, you sometimes think of only survival and not in terms of thriving. So I want to understand that part of your journey.
so this is what I'm going to say. When you start from a place of being lost without direction, it's a very frustrating spot. Maybe after going through everything I've gone through. Now we have two kind of people. Some people that go through so much and get completely lost, like they lose their mind and they give up on life. And you have the second type of people that based on the struggles that they went through, they understood, I have no other way but to make it. So now how do you make it? Every small thing you touch, you give it 100%, 1000%. You turn every single piece of gold into jewelry. So everything you touch, you turn it into something so amazing that the world just has to recognize it. So my journey, what motivated me to become an entrepreneur was not coming from a super rich family. My family is not super rich, right? But wanting to give my family the best and coming here and struggling and seeing other people living a life, understanding this is the only life I get. I'm not going to have two lives. I only have one chance, one trial to this thing. So I have to make the best out of it. I understood I never wanted my children in the future to tell me, Dad, look at that house. It's beautiful. They must have a lot of money. And I'm like, oh, wow, sorry, kid. We don't. And I knew it was going to be my fault and my responsibility. So I got up and I told myself, hey, I got to do something with myself. And eventually I started piece by piece by piece. And I started building this extremely amazing painting of my life that I have today. Today, I have my dream cars. I live in my dream city. The life I've always wanted, that most people my age want. Matter of fact, I'm 26. I'm still in my 20s, and I'm still at the beginning of my journey, but I'm definitely on the right path. I can say that for sure.
Absolutely. And wonderful to know that. Now, I want to understand, there was a time in 2017 you came to the US And sometimes, you in life, you are a bit dependent on other people
Yes,
for whatever reasons. And that is very natural. We are all human beings. Sometimes it can
absolutely.
be friends, sometimes it can be relatives, sometimes much more close relationships.
Hmm.
At that point in time, sometimes it can happen that the relationship goes a bit different.
Yes,
And it can be very painful or it can be very unexpected if it goes when bad, when you are in the middle of something, when you suddenly go homeless, suddenly you have to leave your education out. How do you build your life from there? You talk about, educating yourself from social media about
yeah.
entrepreneurship, and then you met a few people that helped you in your life. Help us understand that what was going on in that at that point in time. How did you collect yourself, together, put yourself together, and looked at the right path in life? Today, you see, it's a very different world. If there is small bit of hiccup, people tend to go towards different path. Sometimes it can be either addiction, sometimes it can be bad company, sometimes because being homeless is a very difficult
It's very
situation to be
mainly
in.
when you live in a state where it's snowing, it's cold. It's absolutely very difficult.
Help us understand that particular state, so that a lot of people who are listening to you and will listen to you in the future, they know that, darkness, this dark night is just before the dawn. So but then it is
Absolutely.
very difficult to understand it at that point in time. Maybe your story will help them understand.
I would say those dark moments are everything. That's what builds you. Because at the end of the day, money doesn't make you. You don't want to make the money. So you build the person first. And then that person goes out there and get things done. Right? And how do you build that person? You can work with somebody that helps you build that person. Or simply life forces you to become that person. But it still takes a little bit of the right mindset. Now let me make it a little bit clearer for you so you understand a little bit of what happened in my specific case. So when I lived with my sister, we had a couple of issues, some misunderstanding, and eventually I ended up, having to move out and being on my own. I slept at the metro station. I used to borrow like a little bit of money to be able to find a room to spend the night and my friends and all that stuff. Then I was able to get accepted to a school that was offering a room. So eventually I went to the school, but the funny thing is I couldn't afford the school. So eventually I ended up taking a break, right? So now this is where everything started. When I take the break, I am lost. I'm telling myself, am I really going to be like this? Is this the end of me? But by the time I took a break, I was lucky enough to have a car because I was able to get approved for credit. So I got a small car and I started doing Uber, like Lyft, like literally driving people to get paid. Like I would say, like a taxi, right? I did that, collected a little bit of money, but I knew this was not for me. I was meant for more. I always knew that. And I stopped without even having the second option. I just told myself, this is not for me. I know, I felt that thing inside of me. There's something there. So after that, I met some other ladies. I tried a little job here and there. It never worked. It wasn't working for me. So I knew there was something for me because I was like, I was not born to be homeless. I was not born to just suffer. If other people can do something, what is it? What is it? So now what happens is I started social media. I got lucky. I had a little bit of following because I shared a little of my personal story. So when I got a little bit of following, it was during COVID-19. So you understand during COVID-19, a lot of people were staying home and being entertained. So I told myself, you know what? Let me actually do something good for these people. Those people, like, it was a lot of people going through a lot of tough times. And I started spending my time to actually discuss with them, create little fun games or whatever, just to keep them entertained so they were not feeling low. And they would be going through certain personal issues. We'll talk about it. I was just helping out people. So then I go to the mall one day, which is a shopping center, and I see a guy selling hoodies, like sweater, and he was charging $40 for it. And I don't know how the bright idea came. What if I made sweater and I sold to people? The people that come here and I say, hey, guys, let's wear our sweaters together. And literally, whenever we talk, we make it all a thing. Now I start selling each piece of sweater for $60, and they paid for their own shipping and everything, right? people cared enough about that little community I was able to build that they actually spent the money for it. So now I make pretty much a decent amount of money from there. Now I have a friend that knew another guy that was a multimillionaire. And my friend was impressed by the way I was able to build my brand with zero experience, all luck, but the truth, it was just me trying to help people. And eventually I came up with an idea that would help the both of us. Because when you feel part of a community, I feel like it makes your life a little better, right? So after when I built that little community, he introduced me to a guy. He introduced me to the guy. The guy is like, it was an Hispanic guy that was investing in real estate. He was a real estate wholesaler. So he tells me, hey, I want my brand to be like yours. I don't know how you did this, but you clearly know what you're doing. And I say, yes, I know what I'm doing. And he says, how much you charge? How much can I pay you? So you help me get that too. I tell him random numbers. Hey man, for a consultation is $3,000 just to get to talk. And he said, okay. He sent me the $3,000. I was like, wow. I was able to earn with my gift. So now what ended up happening is he asked me, what do you have going on tomorrow? I say, not much. He says, let's go to California. I'm like, I lived in Washington, D.C. at the time. I'm like, sure. He booked my flight tickets right there with my friend. We flew to California. He had an event. Where he had an event, I helped him with our services, social media. Things started going pretty well for him. And on top of that, when I got there, I understood one thing is this, which I'm telling every single person that wants to grow in life, evolve, want to be an entrepreneur, or whatever you want to do in life, but you want to grow, learn to serve others instead of just focusing on everything you can take, how you can take advantage. Trying to take everything doesn't give you anything. But understanding that giving value to people is how you attract everything you want. Because after you give value, everybody's willing to support you in your journey. So what happens is, I flew to help with the social media. Tell me how I ended up being the guy making their coffee in the morning, going to pick up, run their errands, reserve the hotel, go grab the cars, helping them with like little errands here and there, helping them with so much extra things that I wasn't getting paid for. On top of it, he paid me from my job a decent amount of money. So now during the trip, they really much enjoyed my company because on top of whatever I was paying to do, I served more. I gave more value, and I got introduced to a second person. And that second person also decided to hire me and pay me a decent amount of money every 3 weeks, right? So we start working. I'm providing a lot more value to that second person. We become kind of friends, okay? And in the meantime, think about it. You in the room, you're learning. You're sharing that energy with those people, you know? You see how they move. You see how they talk. You learn so much. And all you can do is provide as much value as you can. Because I tell people all the time, if somebody's next to you, they feel welcomed, you provide a lot of value. They want to keep you around. And eventually they'll be willing to pay the price. Instead of focusing on everything you can take right now, think about how can I make this other person's lives better? So that's what my mind actually started focusing on. And after focusing on how I could make those people's life better, that's eventually how I learned so much from them. They brought me to other conferences, that brought me to other conferences, that brought me to other conferences. Then I saw their business model, how they were operating business. And after I saw the money that I've made on the side, right? I'm like, hey, let me start something similar. I start something small, I start making a little bit of money. And I start doing a little bit of rentals, start making a little bit of money, right? Very funny story. I found a beautiful young lady, fell in love. I thought, hey, I made it, whatever. You know how like life be going when you're young and you start making money. You're like, oh, I want to take care of this girl. I want to do this. This is how eventually, at some point, I start to face some financial difficulties because think about it, I don't know how to manage money. I don't know nothing like that. So when I start facing these difficulties, oh, she's out. She wants to go, and I let her go. And I realized, wow, it's time for me to focus on my career and focus on my growth. So I focused back on my growth. All I was doing is work, talk to people, do what I'm supposed to do, all that. And in less than a few months, I was making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every week. Every week I was making thousands of dollars, and I started like focusing on my journey again. And I realized, oh wow, all I've been doing is helping these people, giving this much value. And this is what's been able to take me to the point where I'm at. And then as time went by, this is the same formula I've been applying, meeting new people, giving value, and eventually increase my own value. And instead, eventually start like money started coming. Then I decided to find young people and I started coaching them. And eventually they started seeing the success too. And I realized, wow, these laws work. It's a thing anybody can apply. The knowledge I've gained, obviously, like I couldn't go into every single detail and every single piece, but the knowledge I've gained, it's one of the most valuable things I have. And I've been able to change lives with that stuff. I'm talking about taking people from making no money to making a lot of money as well. And I realized they're better. If you see the person I am today, physically, not just financially, I am different. I put in the work to build my body. My mind is sharp. I do not get distracted. I never lose at anything that I actually put my mind to in this life, and that will never happen. I will keep strive, and I'm helping other people be like that. And I know that's the key to success. Once you become that one person, nothing else can stop you. And that's kind of like the way of the path of my journey into being here today.
Right, right. Well explained, Frank. And I'm very impressed by your story, your clarity of thought, the way you build a life. So, what first thing I want to understand is the role of mentors. Did you have any mentors, or now you are mentoring others? But I want to understand: did you feel the need for it? Do you have one? Second part is, a lot of people who build their business online. Sometimes, you think, oh, online is easy, you can just do it, but it is not always like that. How do you look at seeing avenues online, but there is a lot of work, hard work on the ground? How do you see that part? What would you like to say these two on these things? Role of mentor as well as online plus, the real life.
Okay, I would say this number one thing. You can have a mentor, like, and it will change your life completely. Why? They made mistakes that you don't have to make. You can get there even faster. But talking about me specifically, I did not have somebody I could call my specific mentor. But remember, instead of paying somebody for a mentorship program, I gave so much value to people that the amount of knowledge that I gained, it was same to a mentorship. So what, for example, somebody would charge for membership, I had to give so much more, not the money, but my time, my effort, my dedication, my loyalty, and that's how I learned a lot. So eventually, anybody that ever wants to be successful in life, you have to look up to somebody. You have to learn from somebody. If not, you're going to have to do a lot of research and you're going to have to fail multiple times to eventually succeed multiple times. But long story short, whether or not you want it, you're going to have to look for the information somewhere else. Now, if we're talking about online and down to the ground job, this is what I'm going to say, okay? Once you actually, like, it's about first, think about it this way. If somebody tells you today, how many red cars did you see on your way coming here? You don't know, right? But if somebody says, for each red car you see, I give you $50, you're going to count and you're going to remember, right? So now it's about attention. So now once you get that mental clarity and you're able to shift your mind, you start seeing things different. Just think about it for 1 second. You are surrounded with so many things. It's all money. Think about it. This place is money. This beautiful house is money. The cars is money. Everybody wears money. Money is everywhere in your life. But if you're not able to get money, that means it has to do with you to a certain extent, right? So once you shift that, when you make that shift, you start seeing things different. You don't see the house. You're like, oh, wow, how did they get this? Investment, da, 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 da. Now, when it comes to fluctuating, you have to ask yourself, what do people need? So now when it comes to actually the online market, think about people that start Amazon stores, right? Very successful people in Amazon stores, what is it? Or drop shipping. They give what's the most wanted in exchange for money. So you see, the mindset one more time is to give what people need. So really where the money is at is where people need help with. The more people need help in one direction, that's where you should go. Same with stocks, same with anything. That's the same rule that I've applied my entire life. What do people need? Once you know what they need, give it to them. Offer that value. Give it to them the best way. Do it better than everybody else. And I promise you, your life is going to change. So when it comes to the online side, Number one, you need to watch a lot of information that you need to learn. And if you don't have access to those mentors right there, go on Instagram, send them a message. Hey, I want to help you edit your videos. Right? To review the videos, you may have to go on video calls with them, right? You offer them to do your videos for free, but they'll be like, oh, to see the video is good, I'm going to call you. Now you're talking with them. Eventually, progressively, the more value you exchange, that relationships get built. Now they will teach you something. They will help you with something. But a lot of people don't understand. That's what I mean by the more you give, the more you receive. Message people. Instead of being like, hey, I want to get this. Be like, hey, I noticed this. I want to help you with this. And I'm really good at it. Right? That's how eventually you get to learn. But the reality is, if you don't want to put in all the extra work, find a mentor. Find somebody that got you. Your life is going to completely change. I stand by it. Because that's why I'm here. That's how I'm able to get other people here. And eventually that's how I've learned the fluctuations of money and how to actually evolve in life. It's like a universal law. Willing to give, pay attention, shift here, change your environment, everything's going to give it to you.
Absolutely, absolutely, Frank. Wonderful. So a lot of people, there is much to learn from you, and so a lot of people would like to learn more about you and from you. So tell us, about your life and business coaching, also about Black Loon, so that people can connect with you and in a professional capacity.
So, okay. So, if you want to know a little bit about my life, I'm in Miami. I'm enjoying the most beautiful things in life. I love the restaurants because I love food. One of my favorite one of my favorite type of food is Italian. I love Italian food. I like to go on a nice ride with my Lamborghinis, or sometimes go to a classy dinner with the Rolls Royce, and have a couple friends over. And I love beautiful women. I have to be honest with that. On top of it, anything that's inspiring me to grow, absolutely. Now, if you're talking about like what I do, Black Loon, so Black Loon has multiple aspects of it. So Black Loon is a corporation, right? So what we have different section of Black Loon. We have a Black Loon University that you can look up online right now and find it. And on top of it, we have Black Loon that's actually for working with like rentals. I'm talking about real estate rentals. That's one of the section in which we're in right now. And now we're gonna have a different aspect of Black Loon that's in business development. So what I would start doing is bringing different ideas to life. Think about limitless growth. Billion dollar companies. That's the vision. That's what we're working towards today. To take from making millions to actually be making billions, to turn it as one of the biggest corporations in the entire world, just like Vanguard or any other big corporation that you have. That's what the vision from Frank with Black Loan is, and that's what it's going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are very young, just 26, if I remember what you said. And there is much to see in life. There is a long life. When you look back, now what do you want to, how do you see your future for yourself? Have you planned it out? Is there a particular place you want to reach, or you just want to live the life the way it is?
So my purpose in life is to see people evolve and be the best versions of themselves. That's why I'm alive. That's why I'm alive. I'm alive today to build a legacy and make the world a better place. I am not alive just to live the life and travel and all. I love it, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is to change the entire world. I'm not somebody that knows how to think small. I'm talking about the entire planet has to know what Black Loon is and who Frank is and the impact that he has in this world. Why? I want people to be better. I want people to be happier. And I want the world to be a better place, where it's more loving place. And then I'll be fulfilled. The reason why I started online coaching, right? It was never for the money. A lot of people may actually wonder why. It was never right? A lot of people start businesses, companies, or whatever for the money. No, my vision is a lot further. Why? I will have children. I'll be able to pass on the knowledge I have. I'll be able to pass down the legacy of who I am, right? So think about me trying my best to make the world a better place and having my children do the same tomorrow. But that doesn't stop there. Everybody I coach and mentor has one purpose and one purpose only. Go out there, be the man the world needs. I want to make the world a better place. I can't do it alone. So I'm building multiple people, strong-minded, intelligent, sharp, with their mind clear, that understand how to build business, how to grow things, how to be the best possible men or women they can be on earth, and go out there and go after everything and change the world. So I know no matter what happens, a couple years from now, Frank made hundreds or thousands of people millionaires, and all these people are giving into orphanage. They're doing a lot of charity work. They're building roads in Africa. They're helping India develop. They're giving jobs in different places. I want to mentor people and help people from all over the world. Whether you're in India, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Europe, wherever you are, I want you to be the best you. Why? Because if I'm able to make you the best you, that's my legacy you carrying. Because I'm able to pass my values down to you. My values and the things I believe in, I want to share with you. Because those are the things that I believe will help you be the best you. I want you to be like the one person that your family is actually proud of. And that's the reason why I decided to do this online coaching and doing all these things. So my legacy, if you ask me years on the road, Frank helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people become better. And those thousands and thousands of people have an impact in the world, and they made the world a better place. That's my legacy. As far as money and cars, I'm going to have anything I want in this world because I'm going to strive for it. And I cannot imagine a life in which I don't get the things I want. So I'm going to have it all that I want, that I care for. But I will take care of everybody I love. And I'm going to make sure that through me, I'm going to pass a legacy that's going to leave hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of people whose mission and purpose is to make the world a better place.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.